Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are beginning a series of breaking down Notre Dame's 2021 football recruiting class. We're going to make multiple videos on this. I'm going to take it position by position. I'm going to give it a little background on the prospects, their rating, other offers, if there's some evaluations, even high school stats if I can find them, as well as kind of just give my opinions on these additions to the team, how impactful they'll be in their careers at Notre Dame, how long that might take to happen, etc., and also be willing to discuss any of this with you guys in the comments. I've been getting more and more into recruiting recently. I really follow this 2021 class pretty heavy. I just find it interesting, and so I'm gonna make plenty of videos on it following Notre Dame football's recruiting. I potentially might expand it a little bit into, some Purdue or Indiana commits. I live in Indiana. I kind of like to keep tabs on the recruiting of all the in-state schools, but obviously Notre Dame is my first team, my main team, so I'm going to make plenty of videos about Notre Dame throughout the season. Also, stay tuned. Probably around summertime, just like I did last season, I will do my positional previews for each position on this Notre Dame roster. Which will include obviously the freshmen as well as any transfer guys like Jack Cohn. Jack Cohn I won't really touch on this video. I might end up giving him his own video later, and he'll definitely be in those roster previews whenever I get around to them, probably in the summer like I said. But anyways, before we start this video, please like and subscribe. It'd mean a lot to me. Share this video with any Notre Dame fans you may know or anyone just curious about recruiting or Notre Dame in general. It'd mean a lot to me. I'd really appreciate it. Now, let's just get started. So first off, just numbers-wise, Notre Dame took 2 quarterbacks in this recruiting class. Oh, I don't even know if I mentioned I was doing quarterbacks first. But yeah, I'm doing quarterbacks first. The next video I will probably do is running backs, and we'll just make our way down. Either way, yes, Notre Dame added 2 new quarterbacks to this recruiting class in Tyler Bruckner and Ron Paulus III. Bruckner being the notable one, the popular guy. No, sometimes some people bill him as Notre Dame's savior. I'm more of a wait-and-see approach with every quarterback, especially Notre Dame quarterbacks. I mean, we've had pretty high-rated 4-star guys like Phil Jerkovich, and I'm already forgetting his name. Brandon Winbush. See, that's rough. If I forgot his name, I'm so sorry. I should know Winbush. Those were both high 4-star guys who really didn't work out for Notre Dame, so I don't want to get my hopes up, but I will say Tyler Bruckner looks very talented to me. He'd probably be more talented than both of those guys, actually, which is a good sign. There's some question marks there, which I'll get into. There's kind of pros and cons of the things I'm going to mention, but first, let's just get to the basic breakdown. We're going to talk about Bruckner first before we talk a little bit about Paulus, but if we're being honest, Ron Paulus is a Notre Dame legacy, and he probably, if we're just, he has potential, but he seems like more of a career-long backup for the Irish. I mean, if he can find his way into starting, it'd be a cool story and good for him. I wish him the best, obviously. I mean, I wish the best for every Notre Dame recruit, but it just seems like he probably won't get much playing time for the Irish in his career, which is part of that projections, which we'll get to him, like I said. Sorry on my little tangent, but just based off pure numbers, we're just going to look at some stuff here. He is listed as a pro-style quarterback from 247, which is interesting. He is a very mobile guy, I believe. Yeah, so for example, rivals list him as a dual threat. So he's kind of both. He put up good rushing numbers in his high school career, so he's a mobile quarterback. We'll say that. He's mobile, but he is more than capable of throwing the ball, which is nice. I think he's definitely will end up a better passer than Brandon Winbush. Winbush was kind of a dual threat guy, but he seemed like he was very, very much more of a rushing threat than he was a passing threat. This seems like, if you ask me, Bruckner's pretty balanced, and he can do both, which is something you want to see in modern college anyways. But just, so no one freaks out, to me, he is more than capable of throwing the football. Now, some basic stuff. He's going to be taller, which is, it's already a good thing, man. I liked Ian Book, but Ian Book was, in football standards, kind of short at 5'11" or 6 foot kind of deal. Buckner's not a giant by any means, but it's 6'2", 205. It's a pretty good frame to work with. 6'2" is a decent size for a quarterback. Obviously, not the tallest, it's still kind of short, but it is taller than Book, so it'd be a height upgrade if he started right away. And 205 is not bad either. He can get bigger or small, or depending on what he feels he needs. 205 seems like a good weight. He'd probably put on a little bit more just in the weight room in general, which is never a bad thing. When it comes to star rating, he's 18 years old, by the way, which is, makes sense. Pretty basic age right there. from California, La Jolla, California. I don't know what high school he actually... Let's see if it tells me which one he played for. Because he recently transferred... Bishops, I believe, is where he played. A smaller school, which is... We'll mention that. He did transfer to the Helix Academy in California, where he would have gotten to face better competition. But due to COVID restrictions and California's insistence on not playing a fall season, he did not get to play his senior year, and he early enrolled into Notre Dame. So he's actually currently on campus right now, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bruckner early enrolled. So basically that means he did not get to play a senior season. So I mentioned this before. There's pros and cons of this. You can look at it. You can really kind of look at it two different ways. Oh, he didn't get to play a senior season. We don't know enough about him. What if he's just not that good? What if the competition level, when it came up, he played bad and we're going to end up with a bust? Or the more positive approach, and probably if you ask me the more likely thing, oh, he didn't even get to play his senior season and he's already this talented. He's a high 4-star when he only got to play the limited amount of high school playing time he got. That's the more of the way I'd look at it. That just means he was a high 4-star even though he missed out on another whole season of development. In fact, he didn't even get to play his sophomore year either. He's only played 2 seasons of high school football. Really only one, because he played his freshman year, but very limited. Only, according to Max Preps anyways, but I've heard this too, he didn't really play that much. He only had 37 pass attempts his freshman year. Then he got injured his sophomore year, didn't get to play it at all. Blew up his junior season. He went off his junior year. That's where this 4-star kind of came from. And then he didn't get to play his senior year playing tougher talent because of COVID. So this is a guy who people are still high on with a high 4-star, even though he's only gotten to play 2 years of high school football. I'd look at it more of a, he's unpolished. So there's a lot of people who kept saying, Bruckner's going to come in and start right away. Bruckner's going to come in and start right away. And people got kind of disappointed when we brought in Jack Cohn, the transfer from Wisconsin, because they're like, what's happening, guys? Bruckner's supposed to be our dude. He's the next Irish legend, the next Joe Montana, the next Brady Quinn, etc., etc. But I think what some people keep forgetting is, like I just mentioned, he's only got to play basically 1.25 years of high school football. He had some playing time his freshman year, but not much. And then he had his old junior year. That's it. So there's a lot of development left for this kid to do. And I think he's still good now. He can push for a starting job. That's how talented I believe he is. But just the fact is, you get to think about this. He should, knock on wood, he should only get better if he waits another year in our system. I think it's beneficial for him to redshirt this season, let Jack Cohn start for this year, and then he'll move on, graduate, hopefully get drafted, because we love putting Irish dudes in the NFL. And then you let Bruckner take over the reins as a redshirt freshman. Let him get a whole year of college development in his system because he needs it. He just does, guys. He didn't get to play enough high school football. It's just development's important for these young prospects. It always is. Get them on a whole year to learn our system in a college level training and development program. Get them with a proper quarterbacks coach. Not saying his coaches in high school were bad or anything, but a college level quarterbacks coach and Tommy Reese, who will also be his offensive coordinator, so that's perfect. Let Reese get a year in there to help him grow and just continue to develop. So like I said, I view this as more of a positive. Obviously, it sucks he didn't get to play that senior season. He might have been even rated higher, though, is what I'm saying. So, hypothetically, he probably could have got to keep his 5-star if he got to play a senior season and balled out. He had a 5-star, just so everyone knows. He only lost it because he had a somewhat rough-looking Elite 11 camp. But, I'm not going to put that all on him. I don't think those camps mean everything. It's a camp. It's not the real game. Tough to mimic actual game experiences. Also, he could have just been having a bad weekend. Could have just been a bad camp. Either way, he'll get to work with our staff and fix any issues they saw. He's still incredibly talented. Smart kid, obviously. He's coming to Notre Dame for a reason. He's been committed for a long time. I mean, he's in the 2021 class. He committed all the way back. He committed 2 years before that in 2019. So this guy bleeds blue and gold. He's incredibly talented, and I think we got a redshirt him. So if we're looking long-term projections, guys, I think Tyler Buckner is going to be a future starter and a future star for this Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team. I just don't think it will happen as soon as some people say. I truly believe he will more than likely be redshirted this season and then fight for the starting job and most likely win the starting job in 2022, which, we'll get more into who else will be fighting for that job in my quarterback position preview when that comes out in a couple months, probably. Maybe sooner. It depends. I'm going to try to post as much as possible for a while, so maybe they'll come sooner than expected. But, yeah, so Buckner looks like an elite talent. Real quick, I can read you a scouting report we got from Greg Biggins, a national recruiting analyst for 247. He got compared to Sam Darnold of the New York Jets. I'll read you what he said real quick, just so you guys know. This is an evaluation all the way back from 2018. A dynamic signal caller who has completely recovered from a torn ACL injury with a dominant junior season. He has always been a dynamic athlete and was a nationally known lacrosse player in middle school. Real quick, two-sport athlete. A lot of college coaches say they look for that, shows versatility, stuff like that. Very athletic guy, like I mentioned. Physically has an athletic frame and looks like a running back when he gets out in the open field. That's something exciting to hear. Having a real mobile quarterback's great. We've been kind of used for that for a while now with Winbush and Book, so getting to continue that tradition will be a nice thing to see. Has tremendous escapability and a unique sense for making defenders miss and extending play. So just more about him being a really good runner. And then it says he has a live arm and can throw outside the pocket, roll into his right or left equally well. Throwing on the move is awesome to see. It's not, you don't want to have your quarterback have to be throwing on the run all the time, but the fact that he can means he should be good at extending plays if he needs to, which is always something that's useful in a quarterback, kind of Patrick Mahomes-esque. Obviously, let's slow down a bit, but you get what I'm saying. Let's see, a live arm, yeah. He has tightened his release over the last year and has improved mechanically, which will, like I said, those improvements will continue to come. He only got to play really 2 seasons of football, so just a whole year in our system, and just honestly, even if he did start this year, just a more time playing, practicing, etc., he'll just get even better with those mechanics, which will improve, just build off the already natural talent he has coming into this program. Let's see. Tough kid who'll need to rein in the running a bit at the college level to stay healthy, and you love the fire he has. Should be an impact upper-tier Power 5 starter and a future high-round NFL draft pick. So the ceiling is very high for Tyler Buckner. I also think the floor is pretty high, too. So I don't think he's going to be a bust. I think at the very least he'll be a decent quarterback for us, but he has star potential. I just think we need to let it continue to grow out of him. So I expect him to start. If you ask me, he'd probably start his redshirt freshman season and be a multi-year starter for Notre Dame and could be one of the better quarterbacks we've seen for this program in a really long time. Real quick, feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think about Tyler Buckner, what you think he brings to this Notre Dame team, and maybe some guys you would compare him to, or you think he could be better than. Will he be better than like a Deshaun Kaiser, for example? I really liked Kaiser when he played for us. I wish he would have stayed an extra year. That's a whole other situation and a kind of a tangent. But Buckner looks exciting, and honestly, he might be the talent that is there that he might not even stay his whole 4 years of eligibility with us. So we'll see what happens with that. And then the next guy, I'm sorry this video is going a little long. Hurt my throat from talking so much, but the second quarterback we took in this class was Ron Paulus III. A Notre Dame legacy. Obviously, his father, Ron Paulus, was quarterback for Notre Dame a while back. Also listed as a pro-style quarterback. I believe he does have some mobility. At least that's what I've heard in the past, which is nice to hear. He's listed as pro-style by both 247 and Rivals. Good size again, slightly better size actually than Tyler Buckner. Obviously, Buckner's the better prospect by far, but Paulus comes in with a good frame at 6'3", 225 pounds. He's a tough kid. I guess you call him kind of gritty. Obviously, it's kind of a stereotype when you talk about lower rated guys, but it is true. There's a chip there, a chip on the shoulder kind of deal. He only had 6 offers from what I see. He's right from Notre Dame's. Sorry about that light. I keep moving my head. He's right from Notre Dame's backyard. Playing in Penn High School in Mishawaka, which is the South Bend, basically, guys. I've been in the area several times. Basically right out of their backyard. So they got to watch plenty of him. Obviously, I don't know if the COVID thing, they're not being able to scout as many second quarterbacks to add had anything to do with Paulus' addition. I thought maybe we would add Paulus. The surprising part was that he was added as a scholarship quarterback and not a walk-on. But they must see something in him. Paulus is another guy, unfortunately. Oh, real quick, let me read Bruckner's stats. Sorry, I forgot to do this. But in his 13 games played his junior season, which is the true season he got the start, he had 267 completions for 4,474 yards it's like a 64% or 66.4% completion percentage, 53 touchdowns and 6 interceptions with a 137 quarterback rating. The dude balled out. I mean, 59 career passing touchdowns in the the short seasons he had. He put up video game numbers with the high school talent he faced. Like we mentioned, he played smaller school competition, but we were going to get a chance to see him play tougher guys if California didn't cancel their season. But I think it's notable that he didn't have just like a regular good season when playing these lesser competition. He played like he was leagues better than them. I mean, 59 touchdowns, that says a lot. The dude just balled out. And it doesn't matter what competition he played. He showed that he's a legit talented quarterback who has a bright future with this team. Now back to Paulus. Unfortunately, I could not find stats for Paulus, but I also heard that he also suffered an ACL injury in high school, which meant he also missed out on a year of development, which maybe would have increased his star rating. He's a low 3-star on both Rivals and 247. He's a 0.813 star on the composite. So, kind of basic there. It's what you'd expect a little bit. Recruiting-wise, his only other Power 5 offer was from Kentucky. Most of the other ones, Bowling Green, some MAC schools, some Ivy League schools. He's smart, obviously Notre Dame kid. Legacy, his dad still has some sort of role with the program, I believe, so that'll be nice. This is more of it's a depth move, if we're being honest. I think it would be cool for him if I already wish him the best. I hope he could develop and become something for us. But if we're being honest, he's more of a body just to have, because the other quarterbacks, you got this kind of logjam now. With Jack Cohn coming in, likely to start this year, but he'll be gone after that. Then you have Tyler Bruckner, Drew Pine, and Brendan Clark, who will all want to start. It is very likely that at least one of them, if not two, will transfer away from the program after 2022 if they do not win the starting job, which is why you have Paulus as a nice kind of insurance policy to say, where he's like it's a backup quarterback in the NFL, basically, where you don't expect him to beat out the starter, but he's there if you need him. He's going to work hard. So I guess you never know. Gritty kid from the area, probably I would imagine grew up a Notre Dame fan with his father playing for Notre Dame and still being a part of the program. So he'll be motivated. He'll work his butt off. And it's just nice depth to have, kind of an emergency quarterback, you could say. And that way he'll be a part of the program when one of them probably inevitably transfers away. So let me know if you guys have any thoughts or, anything about Ron Paulus III. I think maybe some guys who... Sorry, my train of thought went away for a second. There's probably some Notre Dame fans, hopefully they're watching this, who maybe from the area, maybe you've got to see Ron Paulus play firsthand. Feel free to comment below kind of anything you think about him, anything you could add to what I said. Like I said, I wish him the best. He was a good player, obviously. I mean, it's tough to get any sort of high school ranking, let alone have any offers. So the fact he had 6 offers from D1 programs, more group of 5, obviously, but Notre Dame took him and Kentucky was interested. So there's something there. There's potential. You never know, right? Ian Book was a low 3-star too. Maybe not quite this low, but a low 3-star. And like I said, Paulus's rating probably was slightly affected by the fact he didn't get to play all 4 years either. So, just wishful thinking, see what he can do. But obviously, like I mentioned, he'll just be a solid. My career trajectory for him, my prediction is he will be a solid backup for Notre Dame, probably be here all 4 years, unless he also decides to transfer later on to start somewhere else. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this 2021 class of Notre Dame quarterbacks, how you think they'll pan out for us, or any other kind of things you want to talk about with them. Maybe you don't think they'll pan out. Feel free to tell me why. I'd love to discuss this with you guys. Either way, once again, this is KMA Preston signing out. Thank you so much for watching. Real quick, sorry before I leave. Click here to subscribe. Up here is a playlist of my Notre Dame videos. I have a lot of them. I have game previews, post-game reactions to different games, mainly from this 2020 season, if you want to go back and kind of see kind of nice little time capsule of this Notre Dame season where we recently made it to the playoffs. And then over here is a random video of mine that YouTube has decided to recommend for you. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is Cameron Preston signing out. Go Irish.